bit about the future and holding on to those things that matter most to you. Philippians 3:12 through 14 says, not that I have already attained or that I'm already perfected, but I press on, that I may lay hold of that for which Christ Jesus has also laid hold of me. Brother, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press toward the goal for the prize of the upward call in Christ Jesus. Let me encourage you today. There's a Latino proverb that says, a man is not where he lives, he is where he loves. And if the world needs anything now, it really needs more love for one another, more love for the environment, more love for people, places, things, caring, accepting differences. I think we can use a little bit more love. What I'm realizing is success is one of those relative terms that if you want to have success, successful people are intensely goal-oriented. And if my goal in this season is to love, is to share, is to give, is to care, is to accept and be accepted, then that goal will take me quite a long place than just a mere goal of money, fame, bright lights. Successful people, they refuse to dwell on petty things of the past, or possibly things that cannot be changed. In this season of this self-evaluation, looking forward to the future and assessing what I have left out of all of the rubble that has fallen in life, we've got to choose to dwell on things that move us forward, things that propel us into our futuristic goals and our futuristic desires of what we want to see, or perhaps who we would like to be. It's time out for dwelling in past, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's time out for dwelling on things that are seem impossible for me to change. And so I'm just going to push this big boulder up this hill and hope that it doesn't flatten me on the way down. This is the time to renew our minds, to begin to think differently about what the future holds. One thing that 2021 has taught us is that success is relative, that many of us have built success on money and fame. But when the rubber meets the road, success really is encompassed by my ability to come home at the end of the day, lay my head on the pillow, and get a good night rest amongst the people whom I call my own. We must learn to balance success. Instead of focusing on the factors that are outside of our ability to control and our actions, we've got to take charge of the future and say, you know what? The future is now. It's not what I want to be, but who am I becoming as a result of the experiences that are within my life right now? Am I becoming a person of peace? Am I becoming a person of joy? Am I becoming a person of growth that says, you know what? I haven't already attained everything that I'm going to attain. I'm not already perfected, but I press on, but I keep moving, but I keep getting up. I keep going forth. It was Jeremiah 29:11 that says, for I know the plans I have for you, declareth the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. We, as Christian believers, must believe that our best days are ahead of us, that God has great things in store for us. And our most satisfying experiences and futures is ahead of us, that we haven't written our best song. We haven't experienced our best move. We haven't narrated our best book. We're still experiencing things. Therefore, my life is still growing. My life is still evolving. And so I have not, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a hope and a future. That God has these plans for you, that he's orchestrating the table in your favor. And we must understand that we're not meant to live in comfort. I know we're like, oh my gosh, when are all of these struggles and trials are going to end? When am I going to get to this plain place where I'm just like living and thriving? There are going to be some times when we suffer. Suffering is a choice. Right? We all go through some things. We all go through pain, but suffering is the choice. I can suffer by dwelling in the past. I can suffer by believing that this is all life has to offer for me. There's nothing more. I can suffer by being so bogged down in the past that I don't allow my eyes to look to the hills and know that my help cometh nigh. We must understand that we're not meant to live in comfort, that some of your best work comes out of your pain. Yeah, some of your best decisions have been made because you've been pushed up against the wall and a hard place, and you had to look forward. There was no option of looking back. You learned your best lesson in the midst of destitute situations, when people have left you, walked away from you, abandoned you. You learned your best lessons about love and learning and sharing and relationships, and those lessons will carry you through a lifetime. And our thoughts and our emotions can now be can be shaken or dwindled or searched out through these experiences. And I'm able to filter, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I'm able to filter them through these senses, and I'm able to come back and wash my lenses so that the filtering doesn't cause me to see life through pain, or see life through disgust, or see life through anger. I've taken all of these experiences and I've filtered them out. And I said, okay, how has this experience shaped my belief of self? How has this experience shaped my belief of God? How has this experience shaped my relationship toward others? God knows where I am, and he has this plan for me. And could it be that he is shaping my mind's eye to see the world through this lens of grace, this lens of peace, this lens of love, so that I go further and I'm not stuck in the midst of this pain? Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. To focus on our purpose as we look into the future, we must be able to think clearly. And so if we write this mission statement of life to say, you know what is my life is about? What is my life about? What do I stand for? I'm done judging what other people are standing for and what they're doing. Let me turn the lens on self and say, you know what do I stand for? In this old adage that says, well, if I don't stand for something, I'm going to fall for everything. And so what are the personal morals that you have for yourself? What are they? What is your life about? What's the legacy that you plan to leave? What actions am I taking right now which allow me to live out this life that I want to see, and this life that I say I stand for? Are my actions, are my thoughts, are my emotions congruent with who I claim to be right now? Many of us are waiting to become something in the future, I'm going to become something in the future. But the things that we're doing right now in life, the things that we stand for right now in life, The things that we're implementing and our hands are in right now in life is not conducive to this person that you're wanting to be in the future. So you got to come back and you got to redefine, you got to re-examine, reassess some things, and you've got to shift some things around and make some systematic changes in order to see this person you think you are becoming. These patterns have to be congruent if we plan to move forward. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be who you're called to be in this earth. The world needs you. Yes, you. The world needs you. Who are you called to be? And in what changes am I making day by day in order to be the person that God has caused me to be? Now, Psalms 139:13 says, for you were formed in my inward parts, for you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. Do not let the world confuse you concerning who you are. You were formed in the inward parts by God. He knows you. He knows your thoughts from afar off. He knows your inward making. He knows you. We cannot allow our circumstances to be confused with who we are or who God has caused you to be. Somebody needs to look at your wallet and look at your pocketbook and look at your house and look at your circumstances and say, you know what? You're lying on me. This is not who I'm called to be. I'm called to be greater. I'm called to be better. I'm called to be the head, not the tail, above only, never beneath. Life is happening for me to make changes, for me to live my best life, for me to come forth, not to me. That's a 2 millimeter change that I can make in my narrative that helps me to see that my best days are ahead of me. My best years are yet to come. I haven't seen the best of me. It's yet to come. But today, I'm going to live this day as if I'm walking in my destiny, as if I'm walking in my future, as if the thing that I need to see, want to see, looking for is just right around the corner. Don't let life's circumstances dictate to you who to be. You are called to be what God has called you to be. The Lord has something for us to do that requires us to ask these questions. Who am I called to be? Am I operating in that calling? Am I doing the thing God has called me to do? And it's up to us to move forward in it. It's up to us to say, you know what? I'm going to make these changes today. We only have today. Tomorrow is not a promise that we have. We only have today. And can I tell someone today that we are not here on accident? You're not here in 2022 by circumstance, by happenstance. You're here by divine purpose, by divine reason. God has a plan for you. And your future is written in his book. Taking time and pushing away from circumstances and allowing your mind's eye to see what God sees, allowing him to speak into you, allowing him to humble you enough to know that, you know what, God, I am here today, but that doesn't have to be my tomorrow. I'm going to allow you to raise me up and to orchestrate my footsteps. And Father, if you walk with me, I'll walk with you. And allow God to lead and guide you. God, why am I here? Maybe that's a question someone needs to ask. God, why am I here? Why am I in this place? Why am I doing these things? And when you ask the question, wait. Wait on the answer. Wait for the Lord, and he will answer your cry. We know that you are here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We know that there's a plan for your life. We all have a plan, but it's up to us. Faith without works is dead, being alone. So what action do you need to take today in order to make this life, this day, your best day, and to live out your best life with a legacy and a truth that's undeniable? So God bless. Have a wonderful week and finish strong.